Have you received a rating decision from the Department of Veterans Affairs and you disagree with that decision and you're thinking about filing a high-level review, but you don't know if that high-level review is right for you? In today's video, I'm going to answer 3 questions that I think will help you decide if a high-level review is right for you. So stick around. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of CAMD89 VA Claims Consulting, United States Army veteran, and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I have 3 questions, and I think it'll help you determine if the high-level review is right for you. Okay, I talk to a lot of veterans, and they say, "Hey, this happened. I'm winning a high-level review. I'm gonna do a high-level review," and they don't understand what a high-level review is, why they're submitting a high-level review, and what the argument should be. So I'm going to answer those 3 questions. 1, what is a high-level review? Why are you submitting a high-level review? And 3rd, what is the argument and what is the outcome that you're seeking on a high-level review? Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. First question, what is a high-level review? Here's slide number 1. You can see the VA's definition of a high-level review. Okay, so I have some stuff. I have some stuff underlined in red, and this is from the first page of the VA form 20-0996. A lot of veterans, they'll jump right to the actual claim form itself, and they don't read the first page of the instructions, and you miss out on a lot. So here it says, important. Please read the information below carefully to help you complete this form accurately. Get a lot of questions about high-level reviews, and I already know that the veteran that's asking me these questions did not read these instructions, because a lot of the questions that they have can be answered in this instruction of the 0996, okay? Then secondly, it says, use this form to request a high-level review of a decision you received, okay? And I highlighted some more information. A high-level review is a new review of an issue previously decided by the Department of Veterans Affairs based on the evidence of record at the time the VA issued notice of the prior decision. Now, VA issued notice. When you receive that rating decision in the mail, okay, when you receive that rating decision in the mail, it's going to come with 2 items: the notification letter and the rating decision. I'll link the video that I previously did where I show you the difference between the notification letter and the rating decision, so you understand or you can recognize the difference between the 2 in that packet, okay? Then they go on to say the high-level reviewer will not, they have this in bold, will not consider any evidence received after the notification date of the prior decision. There we go again, notification date. So that's the same. VA issued notice of the prior decision and notification date. There's a date on that notification letter. So if you submit anything after that, they're telling you, the reviewer will not consider any evidence, okay? So definitely keep that in mind, but I wanted to share with you what is a high-level review. Okay, question number 2. Why are you submitting a high-level review? Some veterans say, oh, well, they just denied me. Okay, but now what? What does that mean? Okay, so why are you submitting it? I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. Veteran number 1 and veteran number 2. Now, the scenario is pretty much the same, so stick with me here, okay? Veteran number 1 files a claim for a condition that they were actually diagnosed with in service. Veteran number 2 did the same thing. Veteran number 1 and veteran number 2 were able to obtain a CMP compensation pension exam. They both go to the exam. They both receive a rating decision from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, Both of them, they received that rating decision and it denied both claims. And keep in mind, they both were treated in service for the same condition. Okay, diagnosed, had a CMP exam, and the examiner gave a negative opinion. Okay, now this is where it gets tricky. Veteran number one goes out and obtains a copy of their VA claims folder from VBA, Veterans Benefit Administration. Veteran number two does the same thing. Both veterans, they start to review that CMP exam. Veteran number one notes that, hey, the examiner stated the veteran did receive a diagnosis in service after review of their medical records. But the current diagnosis is not due to the condition of service, it's due to age. More than likely, that denial is going to get upheld on the high-level review. Okay? Veteran number two reviews the records, and the examiner states they reviewed the medical records and they were silent. Okay? But keep in mind, the scenario that we're using today, the records were not silent. The veteran was actually diagnosed in service. So veteran number one files a high-level review, goes in there, says, hey, I think I should be service-connected, gives, their statement, the denial is upheld. Veteran number two, they go in, they say, hey, wait a minute. I don't feel I was given due process because the examiner stated they reviewed my medical records and they were silent. That's incorrect. I have a copy of my medical records and I was diagnosed for the condition that I claim on this particular date. The outcome should be, can you send that back to the examiner and inform them that my records are not silent for the condition I was claimed, and make a note of the date and the diagnosis that I was given and ask them for another opinion. That's the argument and the outcome that the veteran is seeking on a high-level review. Okay? So those are things that I think you need to understand. What is a high-level review? What are you arguing? Or why are you submitting a high-level review? What your argument is and what you think the outcome should be. Now, one of my claims for a high-level review, and I've discussed this before in some other videos, was an effective date. I was actually granted a particular condition. Well, I was given an increase for a particular condition, but they had the effective date incorrect, okay? So disagreement is not always just for denials. It could be for an earlier effective date. You may feel the effective date is incorrect, or you may feel the percentage is incorrect. But that's another reason why you should have a copy of your VA claims folder from VBA, okay? So one of the things I appealed was the early effective date. Went in, I knew exactly what I was appealing. So when I say appeal, back then it was called appeal, but now it's called a high-level review, okay? So when I received a rating decision and I looked, I was like, wow, okay, they gave me an increase, but the effective date is wrong. So I went back to my VA claims folder, and back then they weren't giving out CDs, they were actually mailing you an entire packet full of papers of your VA claims folder. But one thing that I did, everything that I submitted to the VA and everything that the VA sent me, I kept a copy of it. And that's how I built that folder, and that's what helped me to win my high-level review, okay? So I was appealing an early effective date. They went back 2 months. They should have went back 2 years. I had that original document that I submitted to them, had a VA date stamp on it, where I was requesting an increase. So they never bothered to go back through my file to see if there was any evidence. But I kept writing in saying, hey, there is evidence, look at it, look at it, look at it. They kept refusing. So when I got to the high-level review, I didn't sit there and argue with them about, well, I disagree with your process. I served in my country. I think I should have just been given this. I stuck to the facts, Okay? Now, you can do this, you can do that, make that argument if you want to, because that's your right. That's your claim, your high-level review, but I decided not to do that. I only want to stick with the facts. So I had that document. I knew the condition, I had the rating decision, and I knew what the effective date should have been. So I said, hey, I'm appealing an effective date for increase in this position, in this condition, rating decision dated whatever the date was, granted the increase effective this date, that is incorrect. I submitted, actually I think, yeah, it was a VA form 21-4138, 2 years prior, requesting an increase according to VA regulations, and I gave the 38 CFR for effective dates. That should be the correct effective date. She went through, she looked, it took her a while to find it, so that let me know, okay, even before the appeal conference, video conference, that she didn't, you know, the reviewer didn't go through prior to it. So we sat there on camera, I saw her looking, she kept looking, finally found it. And I stated, hey, do we agree that the effective date that was given in this rating decision dated, whatever, I can't remember the date, is incorrect? And she said yes. And then I moved on to the next item that I was disagreeing with, okay? So I knew what an appeal was, but now it's called high-level review. I knew why I was submitting that appeal. In this instance, the example I gave you was effective date, but some other ones were service connection. I had DBQs, okay, but that was just one example. And then I knew what the argument was and the outcome, okay? So that's very important. Quick recap. What is a high-level review? You disagree with a decision that you received from the VA, Department of Veterans Affairs. Number two, do you know why you're submitting that high-level review? Is it for denial for service connection? Is it for an effective date? Is it for the incorrect percentage? And also, do you have evidence to bag all that up? Okay? And then last, what is the argument and what is the outcome that you think you should receive? So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.